All right. So let's see what's happening. All right. So while we're waiting for people to get on, I'm Denise Mazzola. This is Geo. You are on our free webinar, Stopping Dog Aggression, What Your Dog Wishes You Knew. And I am so excited to be doing this for you guys. While we're sort of waiting to see if a few more people are going to jump on or not, if you move your cursor to the bottom of your screen, you will see a chat box come up. And if you click that, you will be able to put some comments in there. And what I want to know first is, where are you guys all logging in from? Put your state in that chat box and see, let's see who we have and from where. We're in New Hampshire. I think you all know that. Oh, Virginia, New Jersey, Ohio, Georgia, New Hampshire, Brat, Tennessee, Massachusetts, woo, Arkansas. Oh, it's going so fast. Connecticut, near Keene, Minnesota, New Jersey, Maryland, South Dakota. Wow, you guys, New York, Pennsylvania. Oh, this is awesome. Oh, warms my heart. See so many people from so many places. This is so cool. Massachusetts, New Hampshire. Wow, and I'll like scroll by really fast. Let's see, Melody, why are you not getting audio? Let me double check something. I do not have my Bluetooth on. Amy, can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
Okay. So my Zoom is saying that my microphone isn't working, so I don't know if I'll be able to get this. Okay, well, stay on. Maybe your mic, well, I don't know. Maybe hopefully your microphone will kick on, or you can try with headphones potentially. Earphones, if you plug those in, that might help some. And we've got Keene, Paige is in Keene. Vicki can hear us, Seattle. Wow, that's awesome, you guys. Okay, so let me screen share and we're gonna get this party started. Woohoo, I am really excited about this. Okay, here we go. Let me see, play from start. Okay, here we go. So you are on the webinar, Stopping Your Dog's Aggression, What Your Dog Wishes You Knew. Hang on, so this is the one thing about webinars I don't like. So Amy, my chat box and participant box went away.
Yeah.
Okay, I don't know if it's not at the top either. Okay. Well, you'll just have to let me know if there's anything happening I need to pay attention to.
Yeah,
Okay,
I will.
now I'm gonna move this over. Hang on, Geo. Okay. All right, so let's start. I know, stop. Oh. All right, so you're in the right place if, oh, there we go. Now I've got my chat box. Something is happening. No, you are in the right place if you're feeling embarrassed and judged by everyone because of your dog's aggressive, rowdy, barky, lungy behavior. We've all been there. Put a 1 in the box if that's you. If you've stopped having guests over because your dog is unpredictable, or maybe your dog has to go into the basement or the bathroom or a crate or something, put a 2 in the chat box if that is you, if that's anything that you guys have experienced. And you're in the right place if, hang on, I'm just fussing with this. You hear yourself say, I can't live like this, or it's not fair to my dog, or I'm frustrated, or I'm feeling so discouraged, put a 3 in the chat box. If you feel like you've failed your dog or that you are a failure, put a 4 in the box. And I can tell you right now, you are not. Okay,
Denise,
great.
we have lots of all across the board, 1s, 2s, 3s, 4s, lots of 5s, clearly.
Right.
A lot of combinations.
Great. Oh, we got a cry face. Okay, good, you guys. So you're obviously all in the right place. I know you love your dogs. I wanted to put something positive in there because dealing with aggression is super stressful and super just everything. It's just it's a bag of emotions. All right. So here's what you're going to learn by being here tonight. There are some pretty typical big mistakes that people make with their aggressive dogs. We're going to talk about that. You're going to hear about a step-by-step framework that we've successfully used with thousands of dogs as well as our own. And we get to a little bit of an introduction later on. Amy will tell you about her 2 dogs that we used all the same stuff with to help them with their various aggressive issues. You're going to hear about my secret little aggressive dog that I had years ago that really shifted my whole dog training trajectory and brought me to where I am today, basically. And the secret to working with aggressive dogs that no one's talking about. I don't know why, it shouldn't be a secret, but we're gonna share that with you as well. So the training is not for you if you've already given up on your dog. And I don't think that that is anybody here. I can't imagine that anybody here has given up on their dog. But if you have, this is not the place for you. If you're unwilling to change your behavior in order to help your dog isn't going to magically change. So we've got to do something different. If you want to use harsh and painful methods to train your dog, you're definitely in the wrong place, because that is not who I am, and that is not going to help your aggressive dog. I can guarantee you that. If you're hoping to get all the answers tonight to your aggression, to the particular things that are happening with your dog, that's probably not going to happen either. It's not going to happen tonight, because as we go through, you'll realize why that there's so much depth and so many layers to this issue that it's complicated, and it takes more than an hour to get through. All right, so assuming you're all in the right place. Okay, so as a professional dog trainer, I like to focus on the positive reinforcement. I like to be grateful for the things that I have, for all the things, big and little, that I have. And my job as a dog trainer is to set my clients up for success, to set the dogs I'm working with up for success. When I'm training Geo, my job is to set him up for success as well. And so in that vein of positive reinforcement, I'm going to offer you these 2 bonuses that if you stay until the very end, we will send you this complete slide deck of the PowerPoint that you're looking at tonight, and we will send you the dog aggression ebook that we have that's available, if you don't already have it. And when you stay to the end, Amy will put in the chat box what you need to do. Super simple, but I want to reinforce you for staying with me for this. And it's 1 hour. We've timed it several times. We're going to get through it. All right, so let's keep going. Excited about those little bonuses. There are other bonuses as we go through, so hang in there. So I'm going to start with my story. Some of you may have heard this on a Facebook Live. This may be brand new for many of you. And I think most professional dog trainers have some secret dog in their past that push them one way or the other in terms of, their specialty in dog training. And so years ago, 15 to 20 years ago, I worked at a local shelter. And as such, I adopted a puppy. And I was smitten with this little guy, and I adopted him with dreams of being a therapy dog and socializing and training, doing everything right, doing everything that they were always told that we need to do. And I loved him to pieces. And yet I was mortified by his behavior. He was aggressive to everyone except me. He was aggressive to the other dog in the house. He was aggressive to my husband at the time. He was, my 3 daughters were young. I had one in middle school and the other 2 were in elementary school. And there was kids in and out of the house. And I had this continuous conversation going on in my head. Where's the dog? Where are the kids? Did they close the door? Did we close the crate? Is the bedroom door closed? Did we close the bath? Did we leave the music on? Well, on and on and on and on and on and on. And I kept thinking, how can this be happening? I did everything right. I had 2 conversations going on in my head. I had the one louder conversation where I knew I wasn't to blame. I knew I had done everything right. This is what I make my living doing. And then I had this other conversation going on that I'm sure you can relate to, that I didn't really want to reach out to my dog training friends and admit that I had this aggressive dog that I was struggling with and frustrated with and embarrassed as heck about, because I just, figured they'd say, well, what did you do? Or what didn't you do? And I didn't do anything. So I was afraid of being judged. But this little guy, through this process, I knew in my heart of hearts that I didn't cause the aggression. I knew that I hadn't done anything wrong in his training. I hadn't hurt him, abused him. I hadn't used harsh methods, none of those things. And I got him as a puppy, right? I figured clean slate, we're gonna mold him and train him and be exactly what we want. It's safe to say that he was really responsible. You know, let me stop a second. Your blessings are your curses and your curses are your blessings. I don't see him as a curse. I see him as a total blessing. At the time, going through it with my kids and trying to keep everybody safe and all that, yeah, it felt like a little bit of a curse. But now that I'm out, you know, on this side of the whole thing, it's definitely a blessing because of that, I was able to develop this 8-step process or program to help thousands of dog owners help their aggressive dog. And I didn't set out to do that. I wasn't like, oh, I need to like develop this program. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying that over the 20 years since I've had him, and I'll talk about some of the research and training that I've done, I boiled that all down into this program. And the analogy I like to give, and I think I got this maybe from Ken Burns, I saw him in 60 Minutes, so just in case anybody else saw him, he had this great analogy. It's like, so we're in New Hampshire, big maple syrup state, right? In order to make 1 gallon of maple syrup, you have to start with 40 gallons of sap. So you start with this huge, right, this huge amount of sap, and you boil it down, and you get this glorious 1 gallon of pure, delicious maple syrup. And so that's the way I think about this program, that over 20 years of sitting in people's living rooms, talking to them one-on-one, talking to them on the phone, now on Zoom, hearing their concerns, hearing their tears and their worries and their fears. I just synthesized it over years, and really just, I didn't even realize that I sort of had this 8-part program until I started to put it into paper and do a few other things with it. So that's where we are. So I think that many of you have adopted a puppy and are having issues with them and are probably shocked and wondering, oh my God, how could I have possibly done anything wrong? I have a fairly new client in Vermont, and we were talking, I'm doing some day training for her, and she said, you know, this is the first time I've ever bought a purebred dog. I've always had rescues, but this time I wanted a puppy. I wanted to do everything right. I wanted this dog, you know, to be her perfect dog. And I thought, wow, I had one of those brain emojis where the brain is like, blah, right? And like, yes, I hear you so loud and clear, because that's exactly what I did 20 years ago. And it's still happening, right? He was aggressive towards everybody, like I said, and I had done everything right. And he transformed me in the direction that I took. And what I want to know now from you guys is my story, your story. Whether you didn't have to start with a puppy, many of you have rescued older dogs or adult dogs, but if you're feeling discouraged or frustrated or embarrassed, just put a 1 in the chat box. If you feel like you've socialized as much as possible, put a 2 in the chat box. Doesn't matter what number, just put a number in there so we know that this is resonating. If you've worked with another trainer before, absolutely, you know, you can tell us that. I've had lots of emails recently that said, oh, I've worked with several trainers. I'm like, wow, like you've worked with several trainers and nobody has been able to give you the help that you need, and you're still feeling frustrated with your dog. If you feel isolated and alone, put a 4. Now, I'm not sure if that applies to you guys. I know it did for me, because as a dog trainer, like I said, I was a little unsure about sort of reaching out. Oh, we do have some 4s, reaching out to others, but you can feel it's embarrassing, and maybe you don't want to go and tell everybody, you know, what you're struggling with your dog, because believe me, I know this all too well. Everybody's a dog trainer. Your neighbor's got a suggestion, your family and friends have a suggestion, everybody has a suggestion. Okay, still coming. 1 and 4. 1 and 4, good. Well, not good. I'm not glad that you were all feeling like that. So it's because of this little secret dog, and I'm gonna just take a quick sip. that I really became obsessed and started doing a lot of research. Now, again, this was 20 years ago. We weren't in the middle of a global pandemic. I was flying all over the country to work with some of the best trainers that I could find. And I wanted people that had a solid foundation in science. I didn't want the jack of all trade that had the Johnny's way and the ABC way. I wanted solid people. Jean Donaldson, excellent trainer. She's written numerous books. You can find her book on Resource Guarding, which is called Mine, M-I-N-E. You can find her book on dog interactions called Fight. She's fantastic. I learned so much from working with Jean. While I was working with Jean, I contacted Trish King. She's also on the West Coast. I said, hey, Trish, you don't know me, I don't know you, but I'd love to shadow you for a couple days. Can I come up and see what you do and ask some questions? She said, by all means. Sue Sternberg is an international author and speaker. She is the queen of dog body language, being able to see the nuances and explain them in a way that is completely understandable. She has hundreds of hours of video that she uses for some of her seminars, and she is an amazing person. And you definitely want to stay to the end because I'm going to be talking about Sue again, and I'm super excited about what I have to tell you about her. Bob Bailey is a gentleman in his 80s. His wife was Marion Bailey. She worked directly with B.F. Skinner, who is the father of behavior. B.F. Skinner did rats in boxes, cats in boxes, all sorts of behavior, and really made this a science and proved these things. So Bob has trained all sorts of animals, not just dogs, dolphins, birds, crows, chickens, you name it, he's trained, and he's been an amazing mentor for us to train under, and Parveen and Emily Weiss equally as so. Really, really great people. So, you know, your dog is a unique being who needs your help. He or she cannot change their behavior on their own. They are looking to you to help them. Understanding and addressing the scientific reasons behind your dog's aggressive behavior is the only way you are going to stop it. And again, Skinner, father of behaviorism. The guy on the left here is Ivan Pavlov. He won a Nobel Peace Prize for his discovery of classical conditioning, also called Pavlovian association. So it's dog, you know, nobody argues that the world is round anymore. And we all know that there's gravity holding us down. Nobody argues about that either. And nobody questions whether 2 + 2 = 4. But my goodness, when it comes to dog training, holy cow, everybody's a dog trainer. There's the ABC way, the 1, 2, 3 way. If it's working, they're using the science. It's just whether they know how they're using the science, whether they can anticipate the fallout from some of the things, if you will, from the science. And I'll give you some examples as we go on. So let's fast forward to today. Amy and I have a successful training and behavior business that's offline, where we see clients one-on-one, we teach group classes. I do a live radio call-in show the last Monday of every month through WKBK. It's an AM station, FM something or other, where Danny and I sit down every Monday, last Monday of the month, have a conversation, and we take calls from people who are calling in asking questions about their dogs. I did a successful cable TV access show called Doggy Dilemmas. All of those, the guys and cameras followed me around to see my clients and film what we were doing. All of those are available on our YouTube channel and on our website as well. Why do you keep moving away? He's got the best chair, by the way. Okay, I've been an expert consult on dog aggression court cases where there's been some bad attacks and bad bites, and I've been asked to come in and consult. So I've also done that. I've helped 1,000 people understand and train their dogs so they can live a more peaceful life together. They can enjoy a relaxing walk. They can have guests over without worry. They can go on vacation finally, either take the dog with them or know that they can safely leave the dog at home or in a kennel with somebody that knows what they're doing, and the dog will be okay. Because a lot of times, you guys, you have modified or changed your life in lots of ways to accommodate your dog. Then I always want to try to find ways for, like, your dog should fit into your life, right? We shouldn't have to be making, oh, I can't do this because of Fido, I can't do that, right? So we want you to be doing these things. I know that you've been trying to help your dog, but the truth is you've been told all the things which you've been told you should do is not what your dog needs you to do. So I've been saying this a lot recently, but you've got to start to understand, we, with a collective we of society, whether it's aggression or not, but particularly with aggression, you need to understand what is happening from your dog's perspective. And in order to understand what's happening from their perspective, you have to understand the science of what's happening. They already know this. They just can't explain this to you, what's happening. And it really is as much about you as it is about your dog. Because again, if you don't change your behavior, your dog isn't going to change their behavior. And so let's just go on. But you've got to understand this, that the things that we are told we should be doing is not what your dog needs you to do. And by doing more socialization, more training, more domination, more being leader of the pack is most likely making your dog worse, not better. And you're just getting more and more frustrated. So let's keep in mind, we've got to get out of our own way and take an action, take small baby steps, if you will, at first, but it's about changing it one behavior at a time. It's about understanding your dog's perspective. And, you know, when the pandemic happened and Amy and I stopped going to the gym for safety reasons, this room that I'm sitting in is our gym room in the morning. It's our Zoom room in the afternoon and night. And I also started to do yoga. It's always something I'd always wanted to do, but for whatever, before pandemic, I didn't think I had the time. So I'd come up here 2 mornings a week, put on my computer. I found a person that I enjoyed watching on doing some yoga. And it didn't matter. Some days it was 20 minutes, some days it was 40 minutes, some days it was in the middle. And I was amazed. I mean, I have been told this through business stuff. I was told this when I was at the gym, how small, consistent steps will equal progress. And so many times it's like, oh God, I don't have an hour to do yoga, so I won't do any. Well, that's not progress. You're not going to see, doing nothing is not going to be helpful. Same thing with Geo. I like to do a lot of nose work with him. I compete with nose work with him. And there's sometimes where I feel like, oh, well, I can't set up, 10 different hides for him, so I won't do it. Sometimes it's just one quick hide in the driveway on a car. Small, consistent steps is what's going to get you the results that you're looking for. So let's talk about how I can help you get started. So let's talk about this 8-part program. I'm going to go through these real quick right here, and then we're going to go through the top 3 in a deeper level. And then after that, we'll just kind of skim the rest. I can't go through all of them as quickly as we just can't go through all of them. Just spit it out, Denise. Okay, so the dog you wanted, step 1 is recognizing the dog you wanted versus the dog that you have. Step 2 is learning how your dog learns. That's all about the science. Step 3 is understanding your dog's aggression. There's lots of different kinds of aggression, and each type of aggression has within it different layers. Releasing the blame, simple, not easy, but we have got to stop blaming ourselves so that we can get out of our own way and start to really help our dog. We need to be proactive through dog's body language. Minimizing your dog's triggers. Dogs don't operate in a vacuum. Each time your dog is triggered, they get shots of adrenaline, shots of stress hormones, and it's not just like a one and done. There are residual effects to that. Addressing aggression through bite pathology, right? So where the dog bites, all this sort of stuff. We'll talk about that a little bit. And identifying your emotional capacity to help your dog. And I'm telling you that everybody's emotional capacity right now is up and down, depending on the day, depending on how much news you read, depending on what your dog is doing. So let's dive into the first one a little bit deeper. Dog you wanted versus the dog you have. So in the chat box now, list some of the things that you were looking for when you decided to buy or adopt or rescue a dog. Yes, Evelyn, keyword consistent. Were you looking for social? Were you looking for friendly? Were you looking for a family pet? Did you want a dog that had issues for whatever reason? So go ahead and start typing away whatever your words are. You can type in more than once for sure. I'm going to reload my camera here for Geo. a playmate for our other dog. I wanted to have a friend for my other pup. Oh, interesting. Friendly therapy dog to go to a nursing home. Yeah, I hear that one. Friendly, calm, pet that would take long walks, protector, partner, companion. Hang on, I gotta go back. Puppy to have a long time for retirement to walk to help lose weight. Companion, lost husband many years ago. Oh, Melody. Friendly, fun, outdoorsy, had time to really train, companion friendly, companionship, family pet friendly, wanted a therapy dog, right? Oh my God, friendly dog where we don't have to be on guard in public, social friendly, social confident. Woo, you got them all there, right? Yeah, that's what we're looking for. But a lot of us, that is not what we have actually, not actually what we have in our homes. Let me just go forward. So how do we reconcile this difference, right? From the dog that we wanted with all of these lovely things, friendly, social, lots of therapy dogs I saw in there, a dog that you didn't have to be on guard on, a friend for my other dog. And how do we reconcile what we wanted and hoped for with the dog that we actually have? And one of the things that I really work a lot with my clients is that I want them to accept the dog that they have, right? And a lot of times I had an email this week from a woman that said, I'm struggling with acceptance versus giving up. I feel like if I accept the dog, then I'm in some way giving up on the dog. And that could not be further from the truth. Accepting your dog will open up all sorts of possibilities that you would never even have thought of before. And the example I'm going to give you is my daughter, Rachel, who I'm quite sure is not on this webinar, but Rachel is a highly sensitive person. That's what it is sort of labeled now. She's 28, but growing up 28 years ago, I wasn't equipped to deal with that. I didn't know what it was. I'm extroverted, I'm flexible, I'm spontaneous. I have a lot of energy. And Rachel is not that way. So I would pick her up, whether she was in a daycare, preschool, elementary school, pick her up from school. And then maybe I'd go to the grocery store, and maybe I'd go to Walmart or someplace afterwards. And every step she would just start tanking and getting cryy and temper tantrums and clinging. It was just obnoxious. Like, God, what is happening here? Like, why are you doing this? Right? It was just a total miscommunication we had until I finally, I probably read a book or took a parenting class or whatever. Then I realized, she's introverted and she's been at school all day. She needs some time. And she's a highly sensitive person. Like the lights in stores, a lot of noise, a lot of the commotion. It's not like she can't go grocery shopping now as an adult, but as a kid, it was very hard for her to sort of filter that all out. And she absolutely could not communicate it to me what she needed. Once I understood what she needed, once I accepted her for her personality, for her temperament, for who she was as a living, breathing human being, then I could really help her. And I could change my behavior in a way to help her. And it opened up so many new possibilities for us. She didn't have to go to the grocery store. I could pick her up from school, bring her home, get her a snack, have her read or color or do something quiet so she could recharge. And then when my husband came home, and I could go out and do those other things that I needed to do, or I could plan to do those things if she needed to come with me early in the morning before she got all overwhelmed with all this other stuff. So by accepting Rachel for who she was as a child and a person, it opened up all sorts of possibilities of things we could do. I was no longer afraid. Oh God, if I do this, is she going to have a coronary? Oh my God, if I do that, is she going to have a temper tantrum? Am I going to be embarrassed? No, I didn't have any of that, because I understood who she was and what she needed. And it's exactly the same thing with your dogs. When you can really accept them from who they are, it is not about giving up. Once you find that place, it's about opening up possibilities for all the other things that you can do with your dog to help them and have fun with them and all those other things. So that's just a quick synopsis of this sort of step that we go through. So the second step is learning how your dog learns. And the mistake we make is we assume that dogs process information and learn the same way that humans do, and they do not. Understanding your dog's perspective is really about the science. And this whole step 2 is about Pavlov and Skinner, classical conditioning, operant conditioning, understanding reinforcements, understanding what's a punishment, understanding extinction and all those things. And a quick example is, like I really like Brussels sprouts, but if you said to me, hey Denise, would you come and stack this cord of wood and I'll pay you in a bushel of Brussels sprouts? I'd say, no. Like I like Brussels sprouts and all, but that would not be reinforcing for me to spend all that time for a bushel of Brussels sprouts. There's other things that might motivate me to do that, but not a bushel of Brussels sprouts. So that's just an example of a reinforcement and how you need to manipulate the reinforcements to continually get from your dog what you need, or to communicate with them what you're trying to get them to do, right? So let me just see what the next slide is. We're going to go back to this one. So I just want to tell you a story. I talked about this yesterday on my Facebook Live. I was super worked up about it. I know that some of you here heard this. Amy and I were out for a walk. We saw this Rottweiler walking with a gentleman and a woman coming towards us. We moved off to the side. Amy's dog is recovering and reactive, so she went a little bit further in the woods than I did. I stood there feeding Geo. Every time he looked at the dog, looked back at me, I was feeding him chicken, roast beef, whatever else I had in my bait bag. Lovely. This Rottweiler was very young, walking real do right next to the guy. He wasn't barking, he wasn't lunging. I didn't see him doing anything which I would call wrong or naughty. And this guy was popping him with the prong collar, popping every time the dog looked at us. And I was like, oh my God, like I was just devastated. I was just so upset because obviously, and then it became clear, we passed again, and now the woman was walking the dog and had the leash, and he was giving her instructions. So obviously he was some sort of a trainer. I don't know who he is. I've been here 28 years, but he doesn't know what he's doing. And he's going to ruin that dog. I can almost guarantee that dog will be reactive, but at least by the time he's 2, if not in a couple months, if he keeps doing what he's doing. He's thinking that he's correcting a behavior. I think he's thinking that he's correcting looking at. Now, why the dog couldn't look at us, I don't know. I think that's more egocentric than anything, but that's a different story. So, but Pavlov, the science of Pavlov, you've got to have a decent understanding of this so you understand what is happening from your dog's perspective. So from that dog's perspective, the dog looks at us and he gets popped in the neck by this prong collar. This is what this picture is here. Prong collars are designed to agitate. They're designed to hurt. Police dogs wear them, military dogs wear them, and they rile them up and they agitate the heck out of them. So they charge at the thing and take it down, person, whatever it is. That's what they're designed to do. Now, listen, I am not a purist. I've had many elderly clients come to me, and when we try all the other things, we often land on a prong collar as the safest way for them to walk their dog. I have 2 ginormous dogs that I'm working with right now, well over 110 pounds. Neither of those owners can walk the dogs without a prong collar. Fine, they're super silly, they're not worried or fearful about anything. But in this case, this Rottweiler did not need the prong collar, and he certainly didn't need to be getting jabbed for walking past us. So what the dog is learning is, look at the dog, get jabbed in the neck. Look at the dog, get jabbed in the neck. And pretty soon, not very, very quickly, the dog is gonna be like, gosh darn it, every time I see a freaking dog, I get this thing jabbed in my neck. I don't like dogs anymore. And you're gonna end up with a dog that is reactive. That in this case, it's not the owner's fault. It is not the owner's fault. She's sought out a trainer that was probably referred to her, but he doesn't know what he's doing because he doesn't understand the science. So all of that is to say, you've got to understand what is happening from your dog's perspective if you really want to be able to help them. We also assume that our dogs have morals and they know right from wrong, and they do not. So let me move this because I'm not sure if that's in your way or not. They do not. So in the chat box, take a look at this dog here and give me one word. Give me more if you want, but give me a word that you think describes what this dog looks like. He looks blank. Here, wait a minute, Gio. There it is. First one, Courtney, guilty, happy, handsome, afraid, ashamed, afraid, docile, embarrassed. That's a great one. Who said that? Deb. Afraid, scared, calm, worried, satisfied, pleased with himself. That's great. Bored, defeated, worried. Right. All those things. I saw somebody up here said it. Right. Because this dog had a great time chewing these books and shredding them and the noise that it made and all that stuff. He had a great time doing that. He's not a moral being. He doesn't know what's right from wrong. And then you come home and you find him and you start yelling at him and he looks like this and you think, and you'll tell Amy now, you'll say, Denise, he knew he was bad. He knew what he did was wrong. And be like, no, these are appeasing signals. This comes in the body language, but I just couldn't pass up this video. This picture was so great. So it's not, the dogs are not moral beings. They are not concerned with right or wrong. They are concerned really with their own best interest. And if they're bored, yes, somebody said they were bored. That's probably why he tore up all these books. But right now he's actually offering what's called appeasement signals. He doesn't want to fight with you. That's basically what he's saying. So let me just move this. Amy, if I move that chat box, is that in the way of the slide?
We can't see your chat box. Doesn't matter.
Okay, perfect. Okay. So step number 3, understanding aggression. The mistake we think, and this is a really big one, is we think that the aggression is the problem, but really it is the symptom, right? Let that sink in for just a minute. Aggression is not the problem, it is the symptom. And it is the symptom of something internal in your dog. Fear, anxiety, stress, there's lots of options there. And when we're concentrating on the symptom, we're not getting to the root cause of what's causing the problem. Several weeks ago, as some of you know, Gio was pretty sick. He was throwing up from a Sunday to a Tuesday. Talked to the vet, did some blood work, and he said, well, why don't you stop by and I'll give him a shot and that'll stop him from throwing up. I said, okay, that's great. Like, I understand we need to stop him from throwing up, but my bigger concern is that's just a symptom of the problem. And how do we tease away whatever we need to tease away to get to the cause of why he's throwing up? That's what I wanted to know. Like, what is causing this problem? We never did find out, but it's an example of, if we have a fever, the fever is a symptom of something else that's happening with us, right? Whether it's, I don't know, there's lots of things going on. I don't want to get into COVID land, but right, the fever is a symptom, the cough is a symptom, your runny nose is a symptom of allergies or whatever. So let this sink in a little bit, that aggression is not the problem, it is really the symptom. And we need to dig deep to figure out all the things that are causing that. So if you focus on the symptom, if you focus on stopping the growling, stopping the lunging, stopping the barking, you're going to feel better, and you probably won't be so embarrassed when you walk your dog. But your dog does not feel better. Okay, do you understand that? Your dog does not feel better because they're still feeling whatever was the cause, the anxiety or the stress. And particularly if you use aversive methods like shock collars or prong collars, which is never going to help your dog's aggression, it's definitely going to make it worse. So you're going to end up potentially with dogs that bite but aren't growling. They're not giving you the warning because you've taken the symptom away through punishment. And we don't want that. We want the growl. I want a dog that growls. I want a dog that barks and says and gives me all that good communication, so I have an opportunity to change my behavior and get out of the way or whatever it is, give him the space that he needs. Okay, so aggression is complicated, clearly, right? Not only are there different types of aggression, but each type of aggression also has many layers. So there's maternal aggression, there's idiopathic aggression, there's dog reactivity. Excuse me, hang on a second. Let's take resource guarding, because that's a great one to express the layers. the resource guarding, you could have a dog that guards from people, but does not guard from other dogs. Great. You could have a dog that guards from other dogs, like this, my aggressive dog guarded from other dogs and he guarded from people. So you have a dog that guards from dogs only, a dog that guards from people only, and you can have a dog that does both. My dog did both, guarded from the other dog and he guarded things from us. So that makes it, there's 3 layers right there. Okay. The most complicated one is the dog that's guarding from everybody, people and other animals. You can have a dog that just guards his food bowl. Oh, God, that would be a blessing in disguise at this time, at this day and age. Then you can have a dog that guards any edibles, any food objects, right? Any pig's ears, bully sticks, bones, sticks, and things that they get in their mouth. And you can have a dog that doesn't care about those things at all and is guarding toys. Like once the dog has a toy in his mouth, forget it. Or you can have a dog that steals things and guards anything that he steals. And then it gets even better from there. Then you can have a dog that guards locations, beds, couches, your bed, the sun, any place the dog might be sleeping. Nope, you can't approach them. So I didn't even keep track of how many layers there was, but there's layer upon layer upon layer upon layer upon layer. We got to peel all those things away to see really what are we dealing with. And that's just resource guarding. Most aggressive dogs have more than one issue. They may have an anxiety disorder and aggression. They may have dog aggression. They can't go to dog parks. You can't walk them, and they're resource guarding. I don't know. There's no 2 things that go together, but it just adds to it. So each aggressive type has different layers, and then dogs usually have more than one aggression type, and within there's all those layers. So you get what I'm saying. It's super complicated. That's also why it's almost impossible to try to answer, how do I do this? What do I do here? Why, what does it mean when my dog is doing X, Y, Z? Because it's just, there's so much information that we need to get through to be able to sort of give those types of answers. So number 4 is releasing your blame. Simple, not easy, because we all feel so responsible. You guys were great in the chat box putting that in there in terms of what that means. And so in step 4, we really work through a lot of different things to help you not blame yourself for your dog's aggression. And let me tell you, it's not as easy as it sounds. And I understand that, because everybody in the freaking world is blaming you. Rescues blame you. Your family blames you. You blame you. I had one woman say to me that she blamed her husband for the dog's behavior. And then after we talked and I explained things, she realized that, that it wasn't his fault that the dog was the way she was. And that, that was a win for me. At least they had a better understanding of what was going on. Step 5 is being proactive prevention through reading a dog's body language. Listen, you guys, it is a 2-way street. You cannot expect your dog to only learn English and us to never learn our dog's primary language. And our dog's primary language is body language. That's what that's how they communicate. You may think that we've put up some fun little pictures here, but each picture here is representing something. And the dog that's yawning, he's not yawning because he's tired. Now we need the context, but a yawn is almost always a sign of stress. And you can see it a lot, particularly with new puppies that are being house trained. If you're using the tethering method, which we suggest, means the dog is always on leash and with somebody or tied to something so they can't just walk off and pee and poop. And as the puppy starts to feel like they got to go and they don't want to go where they're tethered, they don't know how to access the outside, you'll see them start to yawn. And if you think about the last time that you had to go to the bathroom and you couldn't find an open bathroom because of COVID, it is stressful. Let me tell you, every day I try to drink 2 liters of water. And some days I'm driving 75 miles, not round trip, but to see various people. And it's harder and harder for me to, one, find a bathroom that's open. Dunkin' Donuts used to be my favorite place, but they're not anymore. or one that I even want to go into. So if you think about how stressed out we are about when we have to go to the bathroom and, you know, you're doing the dance, and I gotta go, I gotta keep walking, or maybe you start yelling at the person that's driving the car if you're with somebody else, like, look, you gotta pull over, you gotta find a woods or something, but I gotta go. Porta John, anything will work, right? And the same thing is happening to your dog. So yawning is a sign of stress, and scratching. Now, if this puppy is the first day the puppy's wearing the collar, no, they've got to habituate to the collar, and that's probably being a little bit of a pain in the neck to them. But otherwise, once they're habituated to the collar, yawning, scratching, all signs of stress. And in this house training example, the dog is like asking to go out, but doesn't really know how. So they're throwing off these stress signals. And there's a myriad of other things. And that's why dog body language is its own step to really start to understand what your dog is saying. And I worked with a couple. I just finished with them. They adopted a dog, and he was lunging at people's faces when they came into the door, into the house. And, you know, we've talked about management and different things. And I started to show them body language the dog was throwing off. The dog never gave consent for me to pat him. He sniffed me and he examined me, but he never nudged or pestered me in any way that ever said to me, hey, will you could pat me. So I never did. And he did a lot of yawning. He did a lot of sort of staying away. He was happy to work for food, but he really didn't want me patting him, and I never did. And when I pointed those things out to them, they were just blown away to know that yawning is a stress signal. And then we're in such a better position to help that dog be successful in their house by learning dog body language and what your dog is saying. Your dog throws off a lot of other signals before they growl and before they bite. And 99% of the time we're missing them because we just haven't been trained in it. Minimizing. Step 6 is to minimize your dog's triggers. When your dog has a big blowout or a big reaction, it does not happen in a vacuum. It's not like a once and done thing. I'm trying to think if, like, I thought something scared Gio the other day, but I don't think so. But when something happens, like, you know, that sends your dog's adrenaline through the roof, it takes a while for that to calm down. And then, you know, you have to identify their triggers so that you understand what is happening physiologically within your dog. So you can say, okay, like a walk today is not such a good idea, or doing such and such seems like it'll be a great idea, whatever it is. But we spend the whole step 6 is dissecting triggers and helping you understand what they are, how they're affecting your dog, the physiological things that are happening. So bite pathology, something that is kind of hard to talk about. I hear a lot of things like he nipped, he didn't mean to, he missed. Listen, your dog's body language is not random. Our behavior is not random. Unless you have Tourette's or something, I'm not, you know, hitting Gio in the head. It's not like I don't know where my hands are. It's not like he doesn't know where his body is. He's actually moved away a little bit from me. I think because I've been leaning, I don't know why, but behavior isn't random, and your dog knows where their mouth is. And we have got to take an honest look. If your dog is biting, we need to take an honest look at what they're doing, where they're biting, how often they're biting, are they biting and letting go? There's a whole scale for this, but it is step 7, and it's an important one as well to sort all of this stuff out and have a real clear picture of what is happening. And step 8 is identifying your emotional capacity to help your dog. Now, you know, if I look in my emotional capacity, I think I'd have this little door to my, what is this to you, like your heart chakra, is that what it is? And some days I'd open it up and I'd say, oh God, there's nothing in there today. I need to go for a hike. I need to do Netflix on the couch. I need to go to, well, I used to go to my favorite restaurant, have a martini, not anymore, but we need to find this balance. Like, how much emotional capacity do you have today, this week, this month to work with your dog and to really do this work, because it's tough, and the results will be great, but it's a journey. And it's an ongoing journey, and we've got to always be finding that balance. So real quick, let's just recap the steps: the dog you wanted versus the dog you have. Step 2, to learn how your dog learns. This is learning theory, Pavlov, Skinner, reinforcements, punishers, so you can figure out how to communicate with your dog. Understanding the dog's aggression. There's lots of different types of aggression, and each type of aggression has layers, and most dogs have more than one type of aggression. So it's not like, oh, your dog is just, just a resource guarder of the bull. Like, that would be, I'd like clap if that ever came to me right now, because it would be so easy to deal with. But it's usually not that. It's much more complicated than that. Step 4, releasing your blame so that you don't stay stuck and feeling bad, so that you can actually move forward, you can actually work with your dog, and you can actually make progress. Proactive prevention through reading your dog's body language. As I said before, it is a two-way street. When we owe our dogs at least to be able to understand some basic body language that they display on a regular basis, so that we are in a better position to help them. Okay. Minimizing your dog's triggers, understanding what those triggers are, understanding how they are affecting your dog physiology, right? The stress hormones and all that sort of stuff. Step 7, understanding the aggression via bite pathology. It's a sort of a tough step to do, but it's an important one to do. And identifying your emotional capacity, which we just talked about. And I think it's even particularly tricky this time around. So in the chat box, real quick, tell me what brought you here this morning. I'm going to zoom in some of my thoughts, but before I do that, I want to know what you guys were all thinking when you signed up for this webinar. Gonna wait, Gio. Because you all came with some intention. When you saw, you're like, oh, my rescue hurt another dog. How can I help my puppets? Continue education, learned so much last year. Oh, that's good, Melody. Worried about the future. Oh, that sounds kind of serious, Judy. Our dog is reactive to every other dog around, regardless, at wit's end with some behaviors, and feeling the constant judgment and anger directed towards our boy for his behaviors. Yeah, Cassie, that's a tough one. Insight to dealing with stranger danger issues. Always looking for ways to help my fearful, reactive resource guarding dog. Kate, that's a good example of a multiple fearful, reactive resource guarding, right? It's not just one thing. Understanding what's making my dog aggressive. You can help Ulysses become adoptable. Want to walk my dog without him barking at other dogs. I want to enjoy my dog and not worry about his behavior. Yep, helping my beagle be able to see dogs and not go over threshold. Always some info to be gained. Yay, Kay. My dog has dog reactivity, food aggression. Ah, God, anxiety. I know this is why you're here, but reading it all sort of like gives me that reality shot as well. The dog is making our home a nightmare. She seems to be doing better, but over the past couple of weeks, Ask's constantly attacking our little and nipped at my hubby. Barks constantly. Okay, let's concerns, dog's reactive, understand my dog, have tried other trainers, there we go, and haven't had success. Yep, want to be able to feel comfortable in walking my dog and not be afraid. Yeah. So a lot of fear, a lot of stress, because I don't know, my brain's getting all jumped up. It's complicated. It just is. And we're full of, God, the judgment is real that you guys are dealing with from everybody. As I've said before, rescues, humane societies. And listen, when I adopted my little dog, I worked at a humane society. And we were judgy as hell. If you brought a dog into the Humane Society, surrendered for whatever reason, for aggression, for house training issues, for destruction of things, we all talked about you after you left. Oh, she could have done more. She didn't try everything. She must have abused the dog. Oh, it's terrible. And while I'm working in the Humane Society, I end up with this dog that I did everything right with, and I still had aggression issues. And I was like, oh my dear God, like what is happening? Like, how can we stand in judgment? It was a total 180 for me to to have to sort of live through that and be in both camps, right? Suffering with the dog with aggression, being mortified by his behavior, working in a shelter where we were casting judgment on everybody. So needless to say, as I said before, it is not it totally changed everything about how I do anything. So maybe you're frustrated, embarrassed. You guys have said all these things. It could be that you want to have family and friends over after COVID's done and you're worried he's going to bite somebody. You're tired of putting your dog in the basement. You're tired of your dog lunging at you every time you're trying to do something, or you're trying to take something away or pat the dog or whatever. And my God, you've probably tried everything else, right? It's just crazy. And my dog reacts, same Robin hopping in the yard, heavily socialized when 9 weeks old. I feel aggressive puppies in the class started his fear of other dogs, right? Like there's a lot of layers to peel, a lot of layers to peel away. So listen, the whole reason not the whole reason, I wanted to get you all here, talk about this stuff, validate what you're feeling. And as much as I know this is what is happening, what you're feeling, boy, I got to tell you, it just, it really pulls at my heartstrings that you guys are struggling so much with this, and that I feel like there's very little help out there. I really do. I feel like there is so much misinformation and there's so many myths out there that it's like, it's hard to know where to turn. But anyway, so remember that all that time and those 8 steps, I've put all those 8 steps into this course, and it's 60 days to your dream dog. Ditch the aggression, not your dog. And listen, I know that none of you get on Google or YouTube and say, oh, where is there an online course that I can use to help my dog? Like I get that totally, but that's what this is. And this is, we have used this with thousands of people, their dogs, with Amy and her 2 dogs. And if you've been here up until this point, I know that you do not want to give up on your dog. I know that you're frustrated. I know that a lot of you are at your wit's end. But I also think that you believe that things can get better. And that's what we're here to help you accomplish. So listen, a couple reminders. I cannot fix your dog. Okay, that I can't do that. Only you can do that. I can be your guide. I can be your mentor. I can be your teacher. I can be the one that asks you difficult questions, but I cannot be the one that fixes your dog. That is going to be up to you. All of this stuff that we've been talking about is not theory or fluff. It is based in science and it works. It is the exact process that I use with all my one-on-one people that I've been working with for 20 years, and that I've used with thousands of dog owners and their dogs. And I know that, my goal for you is that you can come out and join a calm, relaxed walk, that you're going to feel confident in your training with your dog, and that your dog is going to have a better quality of life because you can now really help them. It doesn't matter if your dog is aggressive towards you, your family, yourself, other dogs, other people, the process is going to work for all of that. Now, before I sort of get into this, when COVID started and we moved our classes online, like our group classes moved online, I taught a puppy class. I taught several, but the one that comes to mind is the first class had 10 people, San Francisco, Texas, Massachusetts, all over the country. And we did it in a similar fashion. Those puppy people online through Zoom calls and a private Facebook group made far more progress than our in-person classes. And I am not kidding you about that. And I was shocked. Amy and I kept talking, like, I've got to come up with something else for these puppy people because they're just rocking this stuff out of the park. And I feel like, we got to like keep teaching them. And she was like, stop teaching them so much because, then what are we going to teach them in the next class, right? And there's so many reasons for that, but it's also because they had access to us. Our classes are 6 weeks. They had access to us through this Facebook group where they could ask questions and post videos. So I'm telling you that because You don't need to have me standing in your living room in order to get the benefits from working together. You don't. What you need is you're going to get, this course comes with 6 group coaching calls through Zoom where you're all together asking questions, hearing what I have to say. So I'm not just saying it to one of you, I'm saying it to all of you. And you get to hear everybody else's successes, everybody else's setbacks and struggles and wins. And that community is just magical. In addition to that, there's a private Facebook group where there's daily support, questions answered. Amy and I are on there 5 days a week. You can post your videos of your training sessions, of your weird dog's behavior, the weird behavior your dog is doing, or a new behavior, whatever it is. And we're on there. Sometimes we post videos back. Sometimes, we're always answering the questions, but you get that on a daily basis from us. And that not only do you hear our answers to your questions, but you get to hear and see the videos of what everybody else is posting and our answers or videos back to them. So the learning just blows up in so many ways. The other things are you get a lifetime access to the course. So if we do updates, if anything that we do to it, it's yours. You can watch them, you can go back and look at the calls. All the Zoom calls are recorded. If you can't make them live, you can submit video, you can submit questions, and we'll answer them on those calls. And I think most important, I'm not very good at most or the only ones, but you get to feel confident. You're going to come out feeling so much better. And instead of feeling like a failure or like you failed your dog, you're going to feel like a winner in success. That's what you're going to feel. Now, if there's one thing to take away, I'm terrible at one things. If you've seen anything that I do, I'm like, well, there's 3 things, and then I tell you 6. So the one thing is, I don't know, aggression's multi-layered and complicated. I think that is crystal clear. I'm just going to say it again, that until you can see your dog and accept your dog for the living, breathing being that they are, for their own fears, their own phobias, their own desires, their own likes, you're never really going to be able to help them. That we have to understand what is happening from the dog's perspective. We have to understand what they are saying to us in their body language. And some of your dogs are screaming at you for help. And yet, because of all the other things that are happening in our head, you're reacting to that instead of being able to take a step back and say, oh, I get it. You need blah, blah, blah. You need more space or more distance or whatever it is. So the obvious question is how can you apply this information to your dog's aggressive behavior? And listen, you've all got choices, right? You can do it the slow way, which you've been, trial and error, watch more YouTube, whatever you want to do, or you can do it more quickly by working with us as one-on-one as you can get in this course, 60 Days to Your Dream Dog. And that community is invaluable. So what is it? It's my complete step-by-step science-based program designed to take you basically by the hand to stop your dog's aggression. And what thrills me is not only do I get to work with you, but I get to know you and I get to work with your dogs virtually and help your dogs and see that progress and point that progress out to you. It comes with a lot of personal attention, support, and this benefit of the community. This is just a little slide of what the sort of thing looks like inside. So what exactly is it? We've gone over it. It's an 8-module course, just like those 8 steps I walked you through. The course is layered, right? It's also called sort of being scaffolding so that one builds on the other. It's not open up all right away. We drip out the content 1 module a week so that you have time to digest it and process it. You have time to get on the Facebook page, ask questions, post videos, whatever it is you're doing. It is not designed to overwhelm you whatsoever. Again, I keep using the word magic. I should have looked up synonyms for it, but the magic is really in the group calls where you're all together and in the Facebook group as well. So imagine walking your dog without being embarrassed. Imagine being able to walk your dog without having to run behind a tree or run behind a car. Like you're out looking for dogs, you're out looking for people because you have so much confidence and you have so many new skills, and your dog does too. Your dog will be like, where's the dog? Where's the dog? Because I want the good thing to happen now, right? Think how great it's going to feel to have family and friends over without worrying about the dog, knowing that your dog is happy. So many of you are like, I just want to know that he's happy, right? And it's hard to tell when they're reacting so much. Feeling confident about what you're doing, feeling that success feels like with your dog, and understanding really what your dog needs so that you can help them. Which is why I titled this webinar, "What Your Dog Wishes You Knew," because they know it, they get it. They just can't explain it to you. And think back to my story about Rachel as this young child. She could not explain to me her needs until I understood them. It was challenging. So it's a step-by-step process within the course. Like there's modules, and within each module, there's videos, there's little homework things that you can do. And again, posting on the Facebook group and coming off. So real quick, module 1, managing your expectations. Module 2 is to unlock what your dog already knows. That's the science of operant conditioning, classical conditioning. 3, uncovering the layers of aggression, the types of aggression, so you really know what you're dealing with your specific dogs. Module 4 is getting you to let go of the blame. Module 5 is preventing that aggression, right? Body language. Module 6 is understanding your dog's triggers so that you can avoid them. And if they happen, then you can know how to take the right action afterwards. Module 7 is bite pathology in terms of understanding the severity or the lack of severity, what's happening. And module 8 is that emotional bank account again. So, how much is this going to cost me? And I think that the question that I want to really ask you is, what is it going to cost you by not taking some form of action? By not doing something that is not only going to help you, but is going to help your dog, because your dog is not enjoying the barking, growling, lunging stuff. They're not there. Again, that's the symptom. And whatever's happening underneath is really, for some dogs, it's very serious and can really be a bit of suffering. So there's a ton of value in this program, and I am super excited about it. It's not $2,500. Yay! It's not even $1,500. Yay! Fireworks can go off, right? So what it is it's available for one investment payment of $997, or you can do 4 payments of $297. And I'm not done yet, so hang on, bear with me, because I've got some super exciting things. So all of what we're talking about is included in this. So there's 4 awesome bonuses. You get this book, Meet Your Dog, which is awesome. It's not the kind of book that you're going to read cover to cover, but there are parts of it that are in the modules. But you're gonna have another brain blown emoji when you find your dog in that book and read what she has to say. It's great. You're going to get our muzzle course, so that if you feel like your dog needs to wear a basket muzzle, you're going to be all set to know how to fit him for a muzzle, know how to desensitize him so that he's super excited to see the muzzle come out. And the whole course is me training Geo to wear a muzzle. Now, he doesn't need a muzzle, bless his heart. But if I pulled out that muzzle right now, he would be way more excited than I need him to be right at this moment, because he associates the muzzle with food, with fun, with activity, with great things that are happening, and not with, oh God, the muzzle, which is just a human thing. You get our body language, dog body language mini seminar. You can't have too much dog body language. And what I'm super excited about is you get a bonus call with Sue Sternberg. She's, as I said before, she's an international author, presenter. She is the queen of dog body language. And she is not only going to show you some videos that she has, and this is the best part, you guys get to submit video and I show it or send it to her, and we will look at that as a team and as a group and see what is happening. And really, 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 you're going to get so much more information about what is going on with your dog. Sue is a phenomenal person. I don't know how else you would get access to her. She's very, very well known and popular in the dog training world, which is why I was able to reach out to her. She doesn't necessarily work with individuals like this, but she loves our program, and she is thrilled to be a part of it. And I am honored to have her as a bonus as well. So that would be a 7th call with her, again, all recorded. Now, listen, I have bought a lot of online classes, mostly for business things, right? And I never buy a course that does not offer me a 30-day money back guarantee. I want to know that if it's not meeting my goals and it's not what I expected, that there is a path that I can take to get my money back. I've never had to do that. I usually clear my schedule. I usually sit down and I start going through the modules as they're released. I go into the Facebook pages and I ask questions and I, post things that I've written, whatever the course is. And I've never had to ask for my money back, but I give it a full, 100% effort on the right from the beginning to make sure this is what, make sure that this is what I want and that it is meeting my goals as well. So I wouldn't offer a course that didn't have that, because I wouldn't buy a course that didn't have that either. So you really have nothing to lose and everything to gain. So a quick little testimonial from Mike, who took this course from us a couple of years ago. We were struggling with fear and shame. I can't read this all because I have things in the way here. You guys can see it. When our dog Malcolm would lash out at people and other dogs, what was the right thing to do in those situations, and how do we make him better in those situations? The course helped us fully understand what his triggers are and reading his body language so we can notice his discomfort before a situation escalates. But I can tell you that Malcolm is leading a much better life. They are super happy with things, and it was really a game changer for them as well. And I appreciate Mike giving us that. So again, all the modules, all the bonus, the book, Sue Sternberg's call, looking at your videos from your dog body language, the muzzle program, and the other dog body language mini seminar that we offer. You get all of that. Now there's one more thing. I told you there was going to be another surprise at the end. So you can do 4 payments of $297, and Amy should be posting in the chat box the link, so that if you want to take a look at the sales page, you are more than welcome to do that. So go ahead. I don't see it in my thing, but Amy will be posting it there shortly while we keep going. And so what I'm also really excited about, and again, I started with the bonuses, that if you're here with us to the end, then you are going to, you can get those 2 bonuses. You can get all the slides as well as the dog aggression ebook. But if you buy within the next 15 minutes and join us on this journey, and listen, this is a journey. This is not a once and done thing. Amy's dog is 13 years old, recovering reactive, and every time we go out with her, we work her program. So, but I like to reward positive behavior. I like to reward people for doing right, for setting people up for success. That's what I like to do. So I wanted to do that here as well. And if you decide that this is right for you, you're going to give it a shot, I am going to say thank you to you by giving you a virtual call with me. It's a minimum of an hour. It may be longer, but we're going to talk, answer all your questions. You can send me some video ahead of time, but we're going to dive in just a little bit deeper. And as a thank you for buying tonight on this call and for staying until the end, we're a little bit over. I'm not sure why I talk so much more this time than all my practice sessions, but you will get a one-on-one call with me. So I also want to be able to take some questions, not necessarily specific questions about your dog or your dog's behavior. Those questions are going to be answered in the course, where we have 8 to 9 weeks of time together to dissect this, for you to post videos and really get into it. But if you have any questions about any of the content from tonight, any questions about the bonuses, or who Stu is, or how it works, or whatever, now is the time to ask away, because we are here to answer your questions as long as we can. So let's see. I don't see. I'm just going to wait, see if you guys have any questions. We call this a fast acting bonus because it goes away, right? Because if you sleep on it and decide you want the course tomorrow, you can absolutely do that. You don't have forever. We don't have for, so You don't have forever to buy. So let's see, Courtney's saying, any chance we can watch this again? Absolutely. Courtney, this whole presentation will be in the lobby page, which you will be getting an email about tomorrow. And I believe you got one when you registered for the course. So it will be on the lobby page through Saturday. So you can rewatch it as much as you want at your leisure. Melody says she gets confused with body language. Yeah. And Melody, you've done fabulous with marathon, absolutely fabulous. And I'm really happy to see that you're here. And body language is confusing because it's not an always never situation. You have to take the context of what is happening with the dog at that time to really be able to get it. All right. Okay, says, are you offering a course again later if this time of year does not work? We'll be offering it again in 2021. I'm not exactly sure. I will tell you that we don't release any of the content through Christmas or New Year's, and there are no calls scheduled between Christmas and New Year's. We want you all to just be able to enjoy yourselves and not feel like there's a pressure of, oh my God, another module's out and I haven't read it and I don't know what I'm supposed to be doing. So there's none of that. So it's actually extended. You kind of end up getting an extra 2 weeks because we don't do anything during that time. How can we help other people know what our boy needs? I know that he wants plenty of time to check out a person before he lets him try and pet him, but many people don't get that. Yep, Cassie, it's a big problem. And those are all the kinds of things that we're going to be taking apart inside the 60 days to your dream dog. Ditch the aggression, not your dog. It's not something that can be answered here, obviously. My dog's probably specifically children. Does your course address this? Yes, Diane. Any aggression will be covered because all the same things apply, like the dog's body language, the stress signals, any history, all of those things. And again, you've got 30 days to dive in and take a look and get on those calls and see if it's helping you or not. And if it's not, there's a process to ask for a refund, and we'd be happy to accommodate that. But I don't think you're going to be needing that. I really don't. My dog's problems of children. My dog refuses all food once he gets reactive. He's laser focused on other dogs and won't take even high value treats. Yeah, Dorian, that's a lot of stress, right? That's a huge amount of stress, and those types of things are the problems that we're going to be sussing out in the course to really get you the help that your dog will eat. We just need to find the right things to help that happen. Oh, Diane, you're welcome. What if you need to skip a week during the 8 weeks? That's no problem, Pam, because all the calls are going to be recorded. So let's say there's a call coming up, you can't be on it for whatever reason. You can send your question in ahead of time. You can send some video in ahead of time if that's related to your question. We'll answer it on the call. So when you watch the replay, you can see it there. And you still can be in the Facebook group, right? So even if you watch the call, rewatch the call, get on the Facebook and ask your questions there and submit your videos there as well. The course will begin right away. So whenever you buy the course, you immediately have access to the welcome module, right? So that's just the fun stuff. Get oriented, get on the Facebook group, introduce yourself there, show us a picture of your dog, vent away, whatever you want to do there. So that welcome module is open right away. And I know that when I buy a course, I just love the welcome module. I sign up for all the calls, I get them all in my phone and in my paper calendar. I still have a paper calendar, and I get all situated and squared away. So the welcome module is available right away. So is the Facebook group. And then the first module will be open next Monday. And I don't remember that date. Let me look at my calendar. It is the 23rd. So Monday, the 23rd will be the first module. Monday, the 30th will be another one. December 7th, December 14th, not the 21st and not the 28th, because those are the holiday weeks. So there'll be plenty of time to catch up. We won't be doing any calls during that time as well. Okay, Ellen, what advice would you give me or any other young adult who is super passionate about dog training and really wants to get involved? Well, Devin, why don't you just email me or ask that question on the Facebook group, and I'll be happy to sort of direct you to some real reputable courses. But the Harvard course is Gene Donaldson's, I think it's called the Trainers Academy. That's where you should go for sure. All right, any other questions? I can't wait to see all of you inside this course. I am so excited about being able to work with you and to really be able to dive into the questions that you have, the concerns that you have, your dog's behavior, all the things. And if I could do an emoji of my mind being blown, and maybe Gio's too, I would do that. I just am so excited about the Zoom calls where we all get to talk as a group, where I get to talk to all of you at once instead of one-on-one, and where you get to hear each other's successes, you get to hear each other's stories, and know that you are not alone anymore, that you are not being judged, that you can say what you need to say, you can ask what you need to ask in the Zoom calls and in the Facebook group, and you will only get positive reinforcement back. That is the premise of everything. Not everything, but you can't be nasty in the Facebook group. It's just, we're all here to help, and it's a really, really great thing. I think Amy's answering. They work for your dog sometimes. A boy can be super picky week to week about treats. For example, he used to love milk bones and currently won't touch them. Any help or advice in keeping up on high value treats? Yep, Cassie, we're going to talk all about that in the course. All these questions are great. And there's all sorts of things. You can also check out our YouTube channel because there's a whole quick video on high value treats. Great webinar. You're welcome, Evelyn. Good to see you again. I can't find my cursor. Oh, here it is. So let's see. Oh, that's Amy. You're welcome, Judy. Thanks for all your dogs. Devin, how do I get into the Facebook group? So Devin, if you buy the course, then you will get to this specific Facebook group that we're talking about that is related to the course, where you can post videos and ask questions, and we're in there on a daily basis. Okay, you guys, so just want to remind you that if you know you're in, if you've been dying for some accurate information, for some good information, I would encourage you to purchase before, we said 15 minutes. I don't know what time that started, but at least before we sign off, so that you get this fast acting bonus, so that I can say thank you to you in a way by helping you on a one-on-one call with Zoom, where we're going to look at some video, we're going to talk about your dog. All of these specific questions are going to be answered. Whoop, watch out, Gio. All right, any other questions? Amy, I don't know if it's been, we sort of said 15 minutes, but we were going to give some leeway back and forth to that.
Yep, there's about 7 minutes left for the fast acting bonus.
All right, we've got 7 minutes, you guys. Come on. Jump in. I can't tell you how pumped up I am about this. Gio, you pumped up about this too? He loves this. He's just here for the meatballs. That's all. Yes, I think he loves me, but he also loves the meatballs that I put on top of the camera. So, any questions at all about how often do you have to pay the 4 payments of $297? Devin, I believe it's set up on a monthly basis. We can certainly negotiate that if you want, but you got to sign up first, then reach out to us and we can see what we can do about that. Can the link or info be posted again? Yes, that's a great idea, Cassie. Amy, can you post it kind of goes away as people start asking questions again. If you would post it again into the chat. I know there's a delay.
Yep, hang on, I'm getting there. Okay, I just posted it. It should be at the bottom of the chat.
Great, thank you. So take a look at that. The sales page, that link will take you to that sales page. You can get more information there. And then you can make your decision whether you want to do the $997 one payment, or if you want to do 4 payments of $297, perfectly fine. For four payments of that. I don't know, sometimes I've done full payments. It depends on what I'm buying, I guess. But Pamela, it's right above. Why can't they see the link? Oh, she did it again. I think, Amy, it says that you're doing it to all panelists. Can you do it to click on that thing and make it to everybody?
I think that means we need to start the 15 minutes over if people couldn't see the link before. Now everyone should be able to see it. Somebody let me know you can see that.
All panelists and attendees.
Okay,
Yes.
sorry, that was my bad, guys.
The one thing we didn't practice when we were practicing, we didn't have the dog in here for one, and we didn't do the box. But no, there's no rush. I'm not going anywhere. We're happy to hang out, because frankly, I would really like a lot of you to get this fast acting bonus, because I would love to chat one-on-one with you about your dogs. I just can't say it enough. I've been there. I know what this feels like. If I hadn't been a professional dog trainer at the time, oh God, it would have been, I don't know what I would have done. I really don't know what I would have done. And I feel like, I don't know that it's worse now. I feel like it's just stayed the same. We've had a dog. I'll just tell you a story while we're talking about it unless there's some questions. Several years ago, a client of mine had purchased a puppy from the Midwest. This was years ago. And the puppy came as a resource garner. And the short story is they surrendered the dog to me. I had my own business at the time, surrendered the dog to me, and I did some work with the dog. And I looked around for a home. I didn't want to keep the dog. And I found a single woman that I'd worked with prior at the Humane Society who always had large dogs. And she adopted or purchased the dog from this woman via me. And I worked with her on the resource guarding. She had grandchildren. And I still see her every once in a while with the dog. And the dog is lovely, and they are great together. And I helped her sort of use these 8 steps. Again, when I'm working one-on-one with people, it's not like I say, okay, now here are the 8 steps, but we have to formalize it for the course. So we all are doing the same things at the same time. But it was such a wonderful thing, such a success story that I always like thinking about her. See you, G. And the dog's name, I cannot remember the dog's name whatsoever, but you guys, there is hope. You need the right information. And I have spent some money with some online coaches that, wow, they were, I thought they were going to be great. And yes, I learned some things from them, but I didn't learn what I was really looking for from them. And I sort of see that in hindsight now, but we just kept going, right, until we found the right match. And I really believe in my heart of hearts that we are the right match for all of you. And again, buy the course, get into it, get on those calls, get in the Facebook group. And if after 30 days you're like, you know what, I can't imagine, I really do not imagine that's going to happen, but I am more than happy to honor I'm more than happy. I absolutely will. I'm a person of my word. And if you don't like it, you get your money back. If it's not what you were looking for. But I've been doing this for a long time. I am passionate about the science. I am passionate about you and your dog. I am a people trainer first, and I am a dog trainer second. And also, I'm just going to say it again because I think it's worth saying again. I cannot fix your dog. That is up to you. I can guide you, I can mentor you, I can ask you tough questions, I can look at your videos, I can encourage you, I am going to give you as much encouragement and positive, honest, positive reinforcement that I can for all the baby steps that you're going to make, because it's going to be the baby steps that build into these great, better things that happen. And only then you're going to see some amazing, transformations. I love nothing better than getting emails or letters or phone calls from people that just say, I just want to tell you that I go out looking for dogs now. And I'm like, oh my God, that is the best news. Or I go out looking for people, or I don't freak out when I see a dog or people. I know what to do. I'm confident what I'm to do. My dog knows what to do. We're like a team now. Oh God, guys, that just like warms my heart, so that to see that success. And Melody's on it here again saying, indeed, that I think you'll agree, Melody, that it's a journey, right? It is not, it's not one thing. There is no one thing that you can do. And I will also say that whether you buy this course from us or not, if you go out looking for a trainer for whatever reason, if your trainer cannot explain to you the science, then keep looking. Because if they can't explain the science, then they don't know what's happening from your dog's perspective, and there's more risk of doing more harm than more good. And that's just the way it is. So I'm gonna take another sip of water. Any other questions? You can also, so you can find some, like the treat questions on our YouTube channel, Everything Dog. There are a lot of videos there, and there's one that's all about how I prepare treats for the dogs and what kinds of treats, and there's recipes there as well for that person. You can check that out. So once again, just going to remind you, join now. Let's get this fast acting bonus. You can schedule this call whenever you want. If you want to like do it pronto, not this week, next week. Next week's Thanksgiving, but we'll sort it out. Anyway, if you want to do it pronto, we can do that. If you want to get into the course and get on some calls and get some other information and get a little work done and then schedule our call, we can do that too. It's really up to you when this call happens, but you've got to buy tonight. I feel like I'm on QVC, but that's the way it works. You got to have a little pressure, people. So you've got to buy tonight, then we'll schedule it whenever it suits you, whenever you want to do that. We have to schedule a call within the time of the course. And the course is not going to end until like January 21st, because we take those 2 weeks of Christmas and New Year's and we just like chill out, everybody, enjoy the holidays, Zoom with your families, go out for a walk, whatever it is that you need to do. But there's no pressure during those 2 weeks to get on a call or to be looking at any new modules that are opening. They start again in January. So there's plenty of time to get these calls scheduled. And it's really just, oh, is it Kennelly? You're very welcome. Thank you so much for this. Love your passion, your research-based practice, and your positivity. Thank you. You're very, very welcome. And I hope I see you in the course. Please, I'll be so excited to have you guys in here. So you will have plenty of time to schedule this virtual one-on-one. Yes, Georgette, you are taking baby steps, and you are definitely making a lot of progress. So Georgette has taken this course last year, and we've been working one-on-one together, and absolutely baby steps. And Georgette, remember to be kind to yourself. You've got a lot going on right now, so take those deep breaths and be well. So we can schedule them whenever you want. Like I said, some people are going to want to do it right away. That's cool. We can do that. Some people are going to like, yeah, well, I kind of like to save mine when I get a fast acting bonus like this. I like to save it so that I'm like, I'm going to get into the course. I'm going to get some things going and see, get the vibe of what's happening and where I need the most help and where I feel like, I could use a little more support. And then I'm going to schedule the call. We can do that. You just need to, you just need to do it before it's sort of the time frame is up. Courtney, please explain one last time. Oh, the whole program. Absolutely, Courtney. So I think I can do it from here. Let me go here. So, no, sorry. I'm going to go this way. I'm going to stay here. All right. So in addition to the course, which is these 8 modules here, you get the bonuses that we talked about. That's the book, Meet Your Dog, arrives on your doorstep. You get the Sue Sternberg bonus. You get the muzzle course bonus, and you get the mini seminar that we have also as a bonus. You also get 6 group coaching calls with everybody else, and Amy and I are both on those. There's block out some time, because depending on how many people are on there, we go until we sort of get all the questions answered. And there's extra training that happens in those calls. So we are more than happy to answer questions about the modules, but we have other things scheduled to sort of talk to you about and to teach you about in those Zoom calls. So there's 6 group coaching calls included with the course. They're all recorded. So if you cannot be on there live, you can watch the replay, which is in it's called a portal. It's in your course portal. If you can't be on there, you're more than welcome to submit a question ahead of time, and more than welcome to submit a question ahead of time in any video that you may want us to look at. And as well, you're going to have this private Facebook group where you will have access to us basically 5 days a week. So in that Facebook group, you can post your questions, you can post your video, you can vent. It is a safe place to get help. And so the courses that I have bought, I have a messaging course, and there's an ongoing Facebook group. And so I get to still post questions in there and get answers back, which is super helpful. And it just gives me that confidence. It's like, yep, I'm on the right path. But this is another place where that magic happens, because it's kind of like we're working one-on-one. You not only get the answers to your questions in your videos, but you're going to see everybody else's answers and questions in videos as well. And that's super helpful to see that as well. And if you sign up tonight, you get the fast acting bonus of a one-on-one Zoom call with me, where we can look at some video as well. So let's see what else we got.
So Denise, can I just interrupt for a sec?
Yeah.
So just to also explain, because I think you and I understand this because we've done so many online courses, and maybe some other folks have as well, but if they haven't, so when we talk about the 8 modules, a module, in addition to the welcome module that's separate, a module drops or is released on a weekly basis. So you have a whole week to look at the videos in the module, do any worksheets or homework sheets or assignments that are attached to that module. And depending on the module and what the topic is, sometimes there's one video and a homework sheet / activity sheet. And sometimes there's multiple videos for you to take a look at. So each module is set up just a little bit differently, but they all include at least one video lesson. Oh my gosh, I think the one on body language has like 15 videos.
Yeah,
none of them very long, but all important demonstrations of stuff. Oh, good. Yeah, Denise can show you here.
Okay, so great question, and sorry I was being such a dope about that. So I'm sharing my screen now so that you guys can actually see the course. So here's the welcome introduction. This is what I was telling you, that as soon as you purchase the course, you get access to the welcome and introduction, right? So it's just join the Facebook group, write all your coaching calls in your calendars, and you can get them into your devices as well, register for Zoom, personalize your profile, blah, 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 right? So that's, why can't I see all of the modules?
I think you'd have to preview each one separately.
Okay, so that's the welcome module. Let me go back then. back to. So welcome. I'm not doing this the right way.
No.
Hang on, I'm gonna stop sharing while I'm in here. This is what I did before.
So if you open like module 1 and hit preview, then we can see what it would look like.
That's what I thought I was doing. Let me see. Module 1. Maybe.
Yeah, you just didn't open it in the preview, that's all.
It's not coming up. I don't see the preview when I click on it. Is that because it's not published? Why don't you come in here?
Okay.
Hold on, everybody. I see preview at the top. It's not previewing the whole thing.
No.
Hang on, everybody. Products.
Oh, am I on TV now?
Yep, it's fine.
You want to go to the actual module. Oh, you're right, maybe because it's not published. Well, they can get the idea from the. You're right, you can't do it. But they can see this.
Okay, so, all right, well, we can just go, hang on. All right, I'm gonna go back. We'll open one. So I will go here. Da-da-da-da-da. Thank you guys for being so patient. I'm gonna click here. Nope, here.
Yeah, don't do the coaching calls.
Oh, that's a stupid one.
Yeah.
Let's do this.
Do this one, yeah. Now I think you can do it. Oh, I know the problem. Go back. One more time's good.
Hang on, I gotta go back here.
Just open one of these.
Oh, just click on it?
Yes. Now you can preview it.
Okay, now let me go back to Zoom.
Sorry, gang, sorry. That was complicated.
Share my screen, da-da-da-da-da, and this one. Okay, so this is a second module on learning theory. This was the step 2, right? So over here are the watch this one, what to do. There's little sheets, there's a little description here, and then you mark, as you finish each section, it marks it as complete and you go on to the next one. You can tool around in here as well, but this one has 4, we've broken down these videos. One is anthropomorphizing, one is classical conditioning, and there's a worksheet, and then operant conditioning. So this is a module. So this is whatever this one is, the second one or the third one. And each one of these will be released a week apart. So you have a whole week to do whatever it is that needs to be done in each module. So let me go back now and see if I can find my chat to know if that answered your question. Okay, so did that answer, Courtney, did I answer your question? It seems so obvious to us. I'm sorry about that I wasn't super clear about the different modules. Yes, okay, great. Okay. So there's a lot. It's a very, very comprehensive. I'm going to stop sharing just so that I can see better what's happening. And I will go back to this. So I don't know if this is helpful or if you want to see anything else in the course, you can let me know. You coming back, G? Okay, so we're at 8:45. It's about time to sign off. Any last questions? When we sign off, that fast acting bonus is going to go away. You have until Saturday at noon to make up your mind. You're going to be getting some emails from me to remind you of all the great things that we talked about. You can still look at the sales page, and Amy, why don't you post it just one more time before we sign off for anybody that might have missed it. And whew, I can't wait to get started. So like I said, you'll have access to that welcome module. And then the first step, which was, the dog you wanted versus the dog you have, the module is called the gap. That's the first module over here. That will be released on next Monday. I believe that was the 23rd, whatever next Monday is. And then you get the whole week to do that. You're on the Facebook group. And then the next Monday, another one will open up. So there's no pressure. You don't have access to the entire thing until we get through it's more like 10 weeks, because there's 2 weeks in there that we're not going to be doing anything, so that you can, excuse me, relax and enjoy the holidays. All right, you guys. 9:15, be well. Love you on your dogs. Stop blaming yourselves for their behavior. And I look forward to seeing all of you. I'm going to think positively, because I know you can do this. Since we're on meds with the veterinary behaviors, at what point would it be good to switch to you? Oh, Melody, you can do that anytime. And I'm not going to mess with the meds. I work with a veterinary behaviorist up here, as you know. It's not going to be a problem. And most veterinary behaviorists and I work quite well together. So if you want to join, you can send me, if she sent you some sort of training report or things that she wants you to be working on, you can absolutely send that to me, so that I can see what you're specifically supposed to be working on. You're already got the video thing down. I just might ask you to move the camera a little bit closer so that I can see a little more clearly what's happening. But I would love to have you in this course, Melody. You've been a rock star from the beginning, and I give you a lot of kudos for sticking it out with Marathon. He's extremely lucky to have you, and you've made some tremendous progress, and I would love to see that continue. It motivated me to work endlessly in my dog activity, and I'll definitely be reaching out for more information on how I can learn more or find a mentor. I didn't say the Melody, you did. You did the work, Melody. That's what I'm saying. I can't fix any of your dogs. You guys can. And you did that. You did that. So pat yourself on the back, because I love seeing your posts in our Help for Your Dog Aggression page. All right, you guys, I'm signing off. Good night. I hope to see all of you again in our Facebook group that's associated with the class and on those calls. And I'm super excited to have Sue be joining us on those calls. You don't want to miss this. And I will see you again. So thank you, and take care, and have a great night.